Hi, hello, and welcome back, everybody, to Nekopara Volume 1. Last time, with the help of the girls, we got a bunch of supplies that were not intended for us sorted and fixed out. And today, regarding the situation, I want to respect Chocolate and Vanilla's excuse me for one moment. I appear to not have saved last time, so I'm going to jump back to where we were, and we'll get this thing started. Alright, everybody. Sorry about that. We are back to where we should be. That Tokiyaki seller isn't here today, says Vanilla. Just like yesterday, we took a walk through the park in the evening. However, the food stand was nowhere to be found. It just so happened that no one was home on the day that I decided to take the two cat girls home. I also happened to leave the house key behind. So, to make good use of time, I went to do some shopping before Shinguri got home. Huh? Sorry, Vanilla, says Chocolate. What was it called? Catnip, she asked. That sounds about right, says Vanilla. That isn't the right word at all, says Kashao. Chocolate, if you're tired, why don't we rest a bit, asks Kashao. Okay, maybe just a little bit, says Chocolate. No, Chocolate is fine. Sorry to worry you, Master, she says. There is no need for you to apologize, says Kashao. She had a troubled smile on her face as she nodded. It was pretty clear why she wasn't in good spirits. That's why there was nothing I could really say to her. Well, there happens to be a bench over there, so why don't we rest a bit, asks Kashao. In that case, I will go buy something to drink, says Vanilla. Thanks. Something for everyone, okay, asks Kashao. Understood. Leave it to me, says Vanilla. I hand Vanilla some change and offered the bench to Chocolate. Chocolate doesn't say anything. The constant sea breeze rustles the trees in the park. All that could be heard throughout the empty park was the quiet sounds of nature. I silently sat down next to a disheartened Chocolate. Like the gently setting sun, time passed by slowly. Chocolate, we'll go home, says Chocolate. Her voice was so quiet that I wasn't quite sure if I had heard it or not. Even so, she answered clearly. Without saying a word, I responded by gently rubbing Chocolate's head. Is it alright if Chocolate calls you sometimes, Master? She asked. Yeah, says Kashao. Would it be alright if we go visit you as well, Master? Asked Chocolate. Yeah, says Kashao. Master, will you be sure to think about us every day? Asked Chocolate. Is it alright for Chocolate to still call you Master even if Chocolate is far away from you? She asked. Her voice trembles as she frantically wipes away her tears. She stifled her sobbings and her voice became strained. She looked pained as she did best to hold her emotions back, biting her lips. I held back my irresponsible words that were on the brink of coming out with all my strength. Yeah, of course I will, says Kashao. Oh, Master, says Chocolate. Chocolate is sorry, Master. I was frustrated at myself for saying nothing. I was empty. I could only offer condolences that could not be put into words. I rubbed Chocolate's head as gently as I could. You're really kind, aren't you, Master? Asked Chocolate. I don't really think I'm kind at all, says Kashao. You said the same thing before, didn't you, Master? Asked Chocolate. Before? Asked Kashao. Chocolate closed her eyes and smiled. Do you remember when Chocolate and Vanilla were taken home by Master and Shinguri-chan? She asked. Of course I remember that, says Kashao. It was a cold day half a year ago. Chocolate and Vanilla were huddled together crying by the side of the road. They were still young, they couldn't even speak yet. It was that day that I embraced their small cold bodies, and I took them home with me. There was no way I could simply forget that important day when our family grew. In the beginning, you two really couldn't get used to things at home, says Kashao. We were scared back then because we were in an unfamiliar house with people and cat girls we did not know, says Chocolate. You two wouldn't eat at all, which really worried Shinguri. Yes, we really did make her worry, says Chocolate. I started to hear a tiny bit of laughter in her voice as we reminisced about the past. Do you remember when Chocolate and Vanilla had a fever too? She asked. I definitely do remember that, says Kashao. It was a few days after we brought Chocolate and Vanilla home. At that point, they'd only occasionally drink some water. And as always, they didn't really touch their food. The combination of malnourishment and cold weather had really begun to weaken their bodies. They both developed high fevers and were in pain. No one had realized it that night, says Chocolate, but we felt so much pain, anguish, and loneliness. We couldn't speak or move our arms or legs at all. All we could do was cry and keep holding... All we could do was cry and keep hoping for someone, anyone, to come save us. And then... It's alright, I'm with you. God dang. Sorry. God dang it, this is so sad. It's so sad. Fucking pulling at my heartstrings for real though. It's alright, I'm with you too, so don't worry. With your big warm hands, you gently rubbed our heads, Master. Jesus. It's so sad. Gonna fight back crying over here. You kept saying, don't worry, as you stayed by our side, says Chocolate. And continued to stroke and comfort both Chocolate and Vanilla. When morning came, you took us to the hospital. You were always by our side, she says. We felt so anxious and helpless. It felt like it was all just lies to us. Back then, you said the same thing. That you didn't think you were being kind. Man, fuck this game. Make me feeling things and shit. That's illegal. It's against the law to make me feel things. But if Master hadn't saved us, Chocolate and Vanilla wouldn't be here now, she says. Back then, if Master wasn't by our side, we wouldn't be able to trust anyone. Thanks to Master, we were able to eat again. And fuck this game! It's so real! It's too fucking real! Oh man. We were able to become friends with Shinguri-chan and everyone else. That's why from that day forward, Master became Chocolate's master. It was that day that Chocolate began to love her kind master, you know? Man, fuck this shit. I wish that her tear-filled eyes would not spill over. Those tears were filled with anxiety, sadness, and happiness. She smiled all she could before me. That's why when Chocolate hears that Master won't be around anymore, Chocolate couldn't do anything else but go with Master. God damn it. So Chocolate begged Shinjuri-chan. So Chocolate begged Shinjuri-chan. She said that with the faintest of smiles, one that seemed as if it would disappear at any moment. Those words were so gentle and warm. There was also an undeniable sadness and emptiness mixed in with them. Chocolate, says Cachao. I'm sorry, boys. I'll be right back. This is too much for me right now. Alright, sorry about that, everybody. I have returned. Now I'm a little bit more composed. I was the one she was saying all this to. Even so, the only thing I could say back to her was her name. Chocolate guesses cat girls don't really understand it when it comes to money and other complex things, she says. Still, no matter what, Chocolate wants to be by Master's side, she says. When Master is having a tough time or is in trouble, Chocolate somehow just knows, she says. Chocolate just somehow does. Whether it is cleaning, or doing the laundry, or cooking, Chocolate will do anything to help. Even if Chocolate can't do it properly right now, Chocolate will absolutely make sure that she'll be able to do things right someday. That's why, would it be okay to ask for one more favor, she asks? Chocolate wants to be with Master, she says. Chocolate voiced her feelings clearly once again, and barely kept her tears from overflowing. Chocolate, if you could be with me. I was engulfed by my own inner thoughts, which were ready to overflow. She yearned for me so earnestly. For her to so innocently believe in me, there should be no reason for me to be against it. That day, chocolate and vanilla became a very important part of my family. As long as they were with me, the days would be bright and enjoyable. I was simply selfish for leaving them at home like that. I didn't want to get my dear family wrapped up in my selfishness, or have them experience any unnecessary hardships because of me. You two are important to me after all. We are cat girls, so we're honest with ourselves, says Vanilla. My inner conflict was disrupted by Vanilla. Vanilla had returned at some point, and she looked straight at me as she sat at Chocolate's side. For me, as long as it's fun, I'm fine with being with Chocolate. Even if there are hardships, I think I'm fine with Chocolate. After all, much more lonely and painful when we can't be together, says Vanilla. Vanilla, says Cacao. If we really love you, then, even if it's troublesome, we want to be with you. That is the reason we want to be with you, says Vanilla. Stuff like whether we'd be happy or not, he says. Even though you are a master, don't you think it's wrong for you to decide that, asks Vanilla? Besides, when a person important to us is in trouble, that's more reason for us to want to be by their side, says Vanilla. We don't know what we can do, but in tough times, we can at least be by your side and cheer you up. That's what we can do, says Vanilla. It was as if her gentle, warm, and soft smile had become the setting sun. These uncharacteristic words from Vanilla deeply penetrated and steeped into my heart. That is probably why Shinguri let us follow you, Master, says Vanilla. Since Shinguri can't go with you, she asked us to go in her stead, Master, says Vanilla. That is why, if Master really cares about us, then I believe we should be with you, says Vanilla. There was not even the faintest bit of hesitation. They were honest and absolutely straightforward words. Who am I to dictate Chocolate and Vanilla's happiness, I asked myself. Only those words continued to strongly resonate in my mind, which was otherwise empty. Even if we lived a worry-free life, we would hate it if Master wasn't around, says Chocolate. No matter how difficult, Chocolate wants to be together with Master, she says. That's why Chocolate begs you to allow us to be by your side, Master. This is where Chocolate wants to be. She was on the verge of tears, but Chocolate's face lit up. There was nothing but absolute, pure, genuine words. Humans really are at a loss for words when it comes to cat girls, huh? Asked Cacao. Saying no to their words? That was something I could not bring myself to do. Master, does that mean? Asked both Chocolate and Vanilla. It won't be like it was back at home. You can't just live here however you like, got it? Asked Cacao. Yes, that won't be a problem, says Chocolate. Chocolate is happy as long as Master is with her, she says. Very well. Master has finally surrendered, says Vanilla. Sometimes people say they hate what they actually love, right? Asks Vanilla. The deary moment seemed to be blown away by her dazzling smile. Despite all this talk about family, perhaps I was the one who didn't really believe in it. Thinking about all this from their perspective, it was very simple. Although I thought it was all still so immature, perhaps catgirls were more human than humans were when it came down to honesty. From here on out, we need to do our best, all together, says Cacao. Of course, says Chocolate. Chocolate is alright, even if we don't have a fatty tuna for dinner every night. Just occasionally is good enough, she says. For me, A4 grade is fine, as long as it's Mukasaki beef. Fatty meat is the best, says Vanilla. Is that all you guys have been eating at home? Asked Cacao. Even if the road ahead of us is uncertain, I lovingly rub their heads, disheveling their hair. Alright, why don't we head back to the shopping district then, asked Cacao. Why is that? Aren't you done with shopping already? Asked Chocolate. We have to go and buy that shampoo you guys like, don't we? Asked Cacao. Oh, Master's really cool, says Vanilla. While we're at it, let's buy some Misaki beef. Well, today is a celebration, so why not? Asked Cacao. Yay, a celebration party, says Chocolate. Master is so generous, as expected of our master, says Vanilla. Just this once, okay? Asked Cacao. This was the beginning of a new life, and together with the happy and high-spirited Chocolate and Vanilla, we took our first steps towards it. Oh, is that it? I definitely think that's it. Well, boys. Yep, that definitely looks like that's the end for it, boys. Suppose we're gonna watch these credits and then call it an episode. Also, if you are very interested in Nekopara, don't worry, there will be plenty more coming down the line. It is currently the Steam sale whenever I'm recording this, so I snatched up all the other versions of the game while I was at it, because I do quite enjoy this. Oh. Nope, I was completely wrong. Just getting started, looks like. Alright, everybody, I'm going to call it here for this episode. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time for more Nekopara Volume 1. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh man, I feel like an idiot. Unga bunga, me thought end of chapter was the end of the freaking game. Alright, everybody. I'll see you next time.